Hello, welcome to Krachtwerken. Thought it was about time to go over something that I've been doing for a while now, and it relates to trying to record things in the house, pedalboard, making the pedalboard flexible, keeping it, dare I say, cheap, affordable, but as flexible as possible. I'm not one of these gearheads. I don't need to buy fancy pedals every 5 seconds, and I also don't have the money for it. So I was going to show you the pedalboard and then later show you how it sounds, essentially. So setup, very simple. It goes into this volume pedal, goes in, and this is a buffered V1, and if you press it down it becomes a wah. Works really well. It goes into the wee golden horse, which I use as a kind of like a quite, dare I say, harsh tube screamer type idea. Cut the bottom off, boost the signal. I use this to boost in a way, I use this to boost the gain, not the volume. Although it does boost the volume a little bit if you don't set it up properly. Then it goes into the Black Star, which has got the 2-channel, the crunch, and well, it has a clean, but it's not on the clean, so it's on the crunch and the distortion channel. So if I press channel 1, it's crunch, channel 2 is distortion, and it's quite good because each channel, the gain can be set individually as well as the output level, although it has a shared EQ section. It is true valve, high voltage valve distortion, and then this kind of ISF thing, which is usually more towards the kind of Mesa Boogie style sound. It then goes into the roll boost, which is just a volume boost, clean volume boost. That goes into the zoom. People are going to be sneering at this, but actually this is one of the cheapest, most flexible things you can possibly buy. The zoom then goes into the graphic equalizer, and the graphic equalizer goes into the super stereo chorus out. Now there's 2 reasons I got the super stereo chorus out. One, it's got a stereo output, so, and if you switch it off, it's basically like a splitter. So at the moment I'm recording, I usually don't use it this way, but because I'm recording, this one goes to the interface, this one goes into the amp. That means I can play through the amp and audition through the amp and feel like I'm playing through the amp. But the whole pedalboard and everything that's happening on the pedalboard is going into the interface. The reason I like the zoom is because it's compact. It has quite a few very useful functions. Considering that you can now pick these up for literally next to nothing. They have especially the one with the expression pedal. All the patches are set in such a way that whichever effect I'm using, I can use the expression pedal to enhance it or take it away. So for example, in this case, this is a delay channel. If it's on the back, it's off, the delay is off, and the delay is set to a certain time, obviously, and if I put the expression pedal down, it grows in volume within the mix. So it's not changing the timing of it, but the volume within the mix. However, you can also set that to be the timing. So you can set for each channel, for each patch, you can actually set the expression pedal, which effect it's supposed to affect, and which piece of the effect. Is it the tone, is it the feedback, the delay, whatever. So it becomes really useful because it means that you have an extra expression pedal for things like how heavy do I want my chorus to be, how heavy do I want my delay reverb to be. So for example, on channel 1 there's no effect at all, channel 2 is a reverb. Again, if it's on the back, there's no reverb, and as I push it down, the reverb becomes louder and louder within the mix. So I've got control about how much reverb I'm using, and I have to go down, I can just use the expression pedal to do that. Obviously, this is not a great pedal in the sense that the distortions are there, but they kind of work. You can probably get away with it here or there, like all the distortion and the amp simulations, but really I wouldn't. However, all their kind of modulations, filters, reverbs, delays, absolutely fine. The wahs are not so good. Pitch shift, all that stuff is fine. I mean, it sounds absolutely fine. It's not fantastic and it's absolutely not shit. It's more than usable. So having this thing here means that you can suddenly have all this extra flexibility. There's one distortion which I do use on this, which is the it's actually the fuzz. And I was actually going to make a video, the cheapest fuzz, the most amazing sounding fuzz you can buy. Put this thing on the fuzz setting. It's got a few fuzzes and they are brutal. I mean, they sound brutal. They don't sound like the proper thing, but they sound in themselves just freaking amazing. So it's all powered with this cheapo thing, and honestly, I've got no noise. The only unfortunate is that the Blackstar requires, because it's high, high voltage, it has its own power supply, which is a bit annoying. You could replace this with a drive, maybe like a Tube Screamer or OD1 or OD2, or maybe any sort of drive crunch pedal, and behind it then maybe a distortion pedal of your liking. You would have the same gain staging from clean to clean boost with a bit of crunch, or leave that out as a boost, crunch, distortion, boost, distortion and crunch, and volume boost, and then obviously whatever delay, choruses and all sorts that you want to plunk in here that you can then control. So the other reason why I don't use a pedal board as such as everybody else with all the stuff is because I chop and change quite often, especially when recording with trying things out. I want to be able to mix and match the stuff with whenever and however I feel. Now, it looks a bit messy, but actually all the cables are tied down just with Velcro. Most of these are Velcroed down, so this is completely sturdy. I can use this and go out and gigging, no problem. The power supply, quiet, no problem. I can't remember how much it was. Question might be from some people, so the G1, the Zoom has got EQ and parametric EQ. You could use the G1 for any EQ stuff, but the problem is that I did do it and then I realized I was getting my tone a little bit funny, and then to try and change the EQ setting is bullshit. So I literally put an EQ in between the out here, which means that if I have any EQ problems that I want to fix, I can do it. This is one of my favorite EQ pedals. It's true bypass, completely quiet. I've done a video on this one. It is completely quiet, and to me it has the right increments for guitar, at least. I think always the most of the EQ pedals don't have the right EQ increments suitable for guitar, and that's why I bought this one, because I actually bought it for the increments and not for its cheapness. And thankfully it is dead quiet. It does not change. If all of these are zeroed and you switch this button on and off, there's no change in the tone. And I think that shows how good it is. So there is a video, I will try and link to it. So I do use this if I need to, but essentially I might just use it to cut the really lows and maybe the flubby 250 for palm mutes, and maybe boost a little bit of 2.3 or the 5K if I'm losing some top end, but usually it's off. So that is the pedal board. So essentially I can, with a Les Paul and all the flexibility in a Les Paul style guitar with the tone knobs and riding the tone and everything, with the Blackstar here you can get anywhere from crunch to blues to high distortion metal, no problem. So it is, in its smallness and cheapness, very, very, very flexible. £20, I don't know, online you can get them on eBay for about £100 plus minus. These are now £50, probably less. You can probably pick them up for next to nothing on eBay. This was £20 or £30. This was peanuts. This was peanuts. This was peanuts, and this was a pure steal. I can't remember. It was like at a local pawn shop. Honestly, I can't remember. So all in all, cheap pedal board, and it works perfectly. And when we get to the sound demos, you'll see that it's also entirely quiet. So thank you very much. We will give some sound demos in a minute. So this is the clean channel. Well, just clean. This is going into, so I'm playing through the amp, but it's, like I said earlier, it's split into the interface. So what you're getting, the sound that you're going to be hearing on YouTube is basically the pedal board going into an angle and a combination of capsums to make it sound nice. But to be able to audition nicely, the same thing is split and it goes into the amp here. I'm also miking the amp, so I might actually mix the two together or just use the one. It all depends which one is kind of like the most obvious and well sounding, which one sounds like the pedal board or not. So again, to try and be quick about this, we have going into the volume, goes into the golden horse, goes into the black star, and then if I want to boost it, and so obviously the other nice thing about this is you got a tuner if you need one. This channel is set up on, and it doesn't need to be because I'm never on it. So here's the reverb. Delay. So that allows a lot of things to happen. So let's stay on the delay. I don't really use the chorus. It's also just set up. So if you start playing with your tone knobs and stuff, you can start getting some and then obviously the you push it down. So there's a couple of songs that actually use this board in this way. So I'll give you a quick idea. The other thing that's really cool, you've got a looper. So I'm going to try and do this. I've not done this in ages, so I'm going to fuck it up a little bit, alright? So just chill. Right, so we start on some delay. Try that again. Some proper tone. That's what happens if you don't play things for literally a couple of years. So there you go, a bit of a fuck up. Then there was the other one that we used it on. Anyway, so the one last thing that's really terrible, isn't it? Is I do like this one here. Oops, oops, oops. This is, let me see. Yep, the fuzz smile, so it's like one of the old round fuzz ones. But I'll make a video about that separately. That's it for now. Thank you very much. Please subscribe.